Hey friends, and I guess non-friends and strangers on the internet. It's been quite a while since my last video update. I think I did mine about 3 months after my surgery, and we're at about 10 months after surgery now, so I figured it was probably past time to do a video update about how my voice is sounding and how I am doing right now with it. There's a few things that I've noticed, some things that I've experienced in that time. I think the first thing and most notable thing is that there's a big difference between how people respond to me who haven't known me that long and how people respond to me that have known me for a very long time. So the people who haven't known me very long seem to think I sound exactly the same as I did before and that nothing has changed, even though I do sound different. And the people who've known me a long time think I sound drastically different. So I have a theory about this, and I think that the people who haven't known me that long, they somehow, they've had their cognitive dissonance reduced with the mismatch between my voice and how I look. And for them, it's just like now that they align up, it's just like, oh, that's how you've always sounded, right? I mean, it makes sense and it matches. So meanwhile, the people who've known me longer, they knew me longer. They heard my previous voice much longer, and I think that they can hear that difference more because they're so used to what they used to hear before. On that same note, I had friends who have known me for a long time that actually told me either before or after the procedure that they were worried about potentially losing me somehow, like losing the ability to hear the voice that I had before, that I would sound so drastically different that it'd be like hearing a different person, and that they had some sort of entitlement around the voice that I had. Like they owned it somehow, even though they didn't, and they knew that this was ridiculous, but they still shared that with me. And as it happens, I don't sound that different. I sound just like I did before. At least my voice quality sounds like it did before. I just sound a little higher. So it's still me at the core, but it's that I just sound more like me. So they didn't really end up losing anything. So I've been doing some regular testing of my voice, and I've found that on average, I fall right around 190 hertz. There are days where I do get higher than that. I did have a couple of times where I tested around the 200 hertz, but it kind of fluctuates up and down. There are actually up weeks and down weeks, especially if I'm going out somewhere and I'm in like a loud space. It's going to be a little bit on the rough side the next morning. Earlier on in my recovery, I would say that ended up being more like rough couple of days where my voice sounded hoarse, and I lost maybe about 10 hertz while I recovered from that. I'd say after about 5 or 6 months in, that really got reduced to like a few hours in the morning. But there are some days that I find myself going, why do I sound hoarse today? Why is my voice slightly cracking today? That's really strange. It does still happen, but it's not that often. It's just annoying when it does. But I would say most of the days I'm sounding really good. I'm really happy with where my voice falls. I would say as far as where my voice is, I would have preferred that it was going to be higher. I would have loved to have been in like the 220, 230 range, but in truth, I was told when I went to Yeson Voice Center that my pitch would really only go up about 70 hertz, and given where my voice was initially before I started training, this is the best I could have expected. So it's taken me a while to get comfortable with that, and the fact that this is just what my voice is going to be. It's never going to be higher than this, and it's certainly never going to be lower than this anymore, barring some sort of like major accident or something. When I got back from Yeson, there was a series of exercises I was given to do, just standard voice vocal exercises, and I did them at first, and then I realized that most of them were centered around like learning head voice, which is something I learned a long time ago. I'm sure there's some exercises in there that are designed around strength of voice, which I think might help me. I need to kind of follow up on that because I've noticed that it is harder to increase the volume of my voice. I would say my voice now is a little quieter than it was before. Not by a ton, but I would say that I have to be aware of it. So if I'm in an area with a lot of people raising my voice. It takes more effort. And I would say that probably contributes to the hoarseness that happens the next day in the morning. But I would also say that I was quiet before, so I don't know if the volume of my voice problem is just a me thing or not. It might be. So there's two friends that I want to tell you about, both of which were trans, and how they reacted to my voice. One of them I met about 4 months after surgery, and her reaction to my voice was, oh my God, her voice is so awesome. I wish my voice sounded like hers. And I thought that was really interesting, given that at the time I was a little unsure about how I sounded. And then the second one is a friend that I've had for 15 years, and her reaction was, oh my God, Jess, you sound cis. And of all of the surgery results that she's heard, she thinks mine is the best, which I disagree with, but she's allowed to have her own opinion. One of the reactions that I have now with my voice is that sometimes after a while of me not talking, when I do talk, I'm like, oh wow, that sounds high. That's awesome. And that's really great. It's like a really affirming thing for me. So ultimately, I would say my confidence has gone up and my dysphoria has gone down, which was the ultimate goal anyway. So yay, success. So yeah, I guess that's it to wrap things up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll respond to them. I'm not a YouTuber, so I won't tell you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Don't do that. It would be a waste of time. I don't post very often. So yeah, I guess I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.